back and see if I watched the right one.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you a question. At the beginning of your movie, when you saw it, did it say these events are based on true events?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
So, yeah, historical events.
Yeah. Okay, because that's what I saw. So.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I saw some words, but when it comes to the whole reading thing like that, I'd just be like, I look somewhere else. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So I don't know where this movie took place. I don't know if these people were Chinese or Japanese. I have no idea.
The only reason why I asked is just because it says it's a Korean movie. That's
I didn't even know that.
That's why I'm saying, like, did I even watch the right one? Because mine says it's a Korean movie.
I have no idea. Not one time did they ever say that.
It looks like it was in Japan. Yeah, okay. Mine says the same thing. This film is based on true historical events. Hold on. Did yours? All right. We're gonna end up talking about it anyways. Did yours start out with the guy getting shot with a bunch of arrows?
No.
Oh my god.
No, that didn't happen at all.
Wait, what?
That did happen in the movie, but it wasn't at the very beginning. It's not how it started.
Because he watched it on YouTube. That's why YouTube will go all over the place sometimes. And this movie was already all over the place. Listen, the synopsis that I got from the movie,
like 5 minutes. Hold on, like you're not saying to say like 5 minutes in he didn't have a sword fight?
He did.
Oh, it did. Yeah, it did.
He wasn't getting shot with arrows during that time before that.
No.
Oh,
there are people who did get shot with arrows at the very, very beginning, but it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't like when the movie came on. It didn't happen right then and there. It was, it might have been like within 10 minutes or so, something like that. But it wasn't the main guy. It wasn't the main guy who got hit with a bunch of arrows.
I'm looking at it. The main guy was trying to like cut all these arrows. He was cutting them.
That did happen.
Yeah, it was on my version. It's 5 minutes in, like maybe like 4.
Okay.
Because at the 5 minute mark, he's doing the sword fight with the what you call it, with one of the bad guys, like how we said, like what we talked about in the pre-show.
Well, the crazy thing is that guy wasn't bad at in the movie until the end.
I know, but you see
now, I looked at him as being bad.
Well, but he turned on the king, and that's the problem. He felt his ideals were lined up with the bad guys.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let's talk about this very, very beginning. This kind of messes up everything. The way this movie starts off.
Points of views. Now we all have 3 different points of views.
I mean, not really. It's probably going to all end up tying back together, and it's going to be the same. I think if we watch in the same movie, but Joe, at the beginning of the movie, I could have swore it said something like there was a king and he was fleeing from his competition or whatever, right? And he was leaving. He was abandoning his palace.
No, there was a coup to overthrow him.
Okay. Well, anyway, he was running away, right?
He had no choice. I mean, they were
right. I'm just making sure.
And his family, yeah.
Because this was confusing me. Okay, so yes. Okay, so I'm watching the same thing. So this guy is leaving, but later on, and when everybody is talking about the king, they kept showing him, and I was thinking, like, I thought there was somebody else that had just took over this kingdom, because the guy at the beginning was leaving.
So my understanding of that was his the people that still believed in him and his ideals followed him to like a remote area.
So I thought those people that rode into the town or wherever that place was, I thought those were his adversaries. Because later on, that's like what Angel was saying. Like there was a whole bunch of arrows coming in. These guys were killing the king's guys that were right there, and then that's when we're introduced to the swordsman. We're introduced to him right there because he's still defending the king. But meanwhile, the king is inside trying to pack up to leave. And all these guys just came to take over. And then later on, these people, we see them with the king later on. So I was like, what happened? I thought there was going to be a different king who came in and took over this region. And
you're talking about when the group of bad guys were basically there intimidating him and his people.
Yeah, at the very beginning, yeah.
And I think they were just trying. Yeah, I think they were just showing how they were better than the king. They had
why were they killing
more
the
power.
kings? They were killing his guards.
That's part of the coup.
So okay, so when he leaves, they still follow him. They're still his loyal subjects. I don't know, like you said, man, this movie was all over the place. It didn't make this.
I agree. No,
the beginning did not make any sense.
The people that believed in his in him still followed him, but to what end? Because the second things got bad, he was done. He was out.
Right. And to me, frankly, he was running away from these guys. But later on in the movie, these guys are serving the king. So I was like, wait, what happened at the beginning then? Like, why was he running away from these people if we're only to see him later on in the movie with these people? It didn't make any sense. I thought somebody else new was taking over the kingdom. That's what I thought when I saw it at the beginning. That's what I thought what was going on.
Yeah, that's it. Like I said, this movie was all over the place because the movie starts off showing us the main character, but then the main character after this part, and they never explain. Like, I guess he's a part of the king's guard, and at the beginning, he has this really nice sword. It's got it's forked at the end, so it's basically got like two blades, kind of. He's really good sword fighter, but he's fighting the top sword fighter that had, I guess, during the movie you see is the new swordsman after he left. So he was the king swordsman after this guy left, and then now they're fighting each other because he turned on his king. But then come to find out, this is where the original swordsman had this was done. He was done here. He went and fled to the hills, and to raise his daughter. And they don't even show us. All of a sudden he's got a daughter. There's no mom. I mean,
well, in the beginning, you see him on a horse riding away, and you see he has something. But I mean, that was like a loaf of bread. Like you didn't know it was a kid.
He's called a kid.
So is it possible he had? Is it possible he adopted a daughter?
Well, that's what eventually. Well, it wasn't an official adoption.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, it wasn't an official adoption.
There was talk like maybe that she was like a former princess or something, and he had taken her. That makes sense.
So basically, what ended up happening was we're just gonna skip to the end right quick. So basically, what ended up happening, yes, the king turned his daughter over to the swordsman. Well, we keep calling him that. What's the name? Did they even give him a name?
I never heard it, and when you
I don't.
look it up,
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah.
Gojayo or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think they ever said it, but
I never heard it once.
Yeah. But anyway, it looks like on Wikipedia it's Taiyul, I guess. But like I said, they never said it in the movie. So anyway, basically the king turns the daughter over to him, and basically what he's saying is, "I want you to protect my daughter." That was basically what happened. We saw that at the end. When I'm talking about the very, very end, when she was a baby, he is supposed to represent her sword, so he's going to take care of her. Now, at the beginning of the movie, we just see him riding away with something in his arm, and we don't know. Like you said, we don't know that it's a baby. We just see him riding away with something. So he runs into the mountains and he lives, and they jump forward 18, 19 years because the next time we see him, he's an older man, and basically because of that sword fight, he ends up breaking his sword, and some of the pieces of the sword get in his eye. So now he's like partially blind, and he's living in the mountains with this girl that he's calling his daughter.
Yes.
And she's tired of living in the mountains. She wants to go down into the village and walk around and explore the village.
Yeah, she wants to live a little more, and he's obviously afraid and all that. And the other reason she wants to, there's herbs that can help his sight, instead of him, or at least slow down the fact that he's going blind.
For his glaucoma. So she wanted to give him some weed. She wanted him to blaze up.
And they had they had a monk in their village that said he could set him up with someone, and he'll say that they're coming in the village. So they go down into the village, and they're selling rabbit pelts is like their means of trade. I guess they said they could get a lot for them. So I mean, it is. I guess that's an interesting kind of trade.
Oh wow, that's what man. So when they were hunting those rabbits, I didn't know what was going on. I was like,
yeah, I didn't either. When she said, "Oh, we'll get a lot of money for this," I was like, "Wow, rabbit meat is a commodity." Okay, yeah. But then she was selling the pelts. She had like a stack of pelts she was trying to help sell, and she got down to the town, and she was all over. She was running over here, running over there. She was happy as ever because she's never been around a bunch of other people. She was just hanging out in the mountains with just the same 4 people. And when they go and talk to I guess it's a healer. The healer says that the monk had lied to them, that the monk, she didn't owe the monk owed her. So she was basically, and they were trying to trade the rabbit pelts, but she wasn't having it. She's like, "Oh no, you heard wrong. I'll take the rabbit pelts, but that'll be the payment for the monk," which is pretty stupid. That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to help your dad. So,
right.
I mean, that's a little rotten.
Yeah. So then we get introduced to this other woman when they're in town. And she was weird also.
Very.
Yeah, because she said that she breastfed the little girl. I didn't know that just randomly happened like that. But she wasn't living with them. So what did he do? Just come down every so often, every day? Hey, my baby needs some milk.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I've heard of something like that, but I don't know. I thought women have to have been had a baby.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
So unless you just had a baby, but I don't see another kid around there. So
no.
But it is what it is. That's a weird thing to talk about.
What else was weird? That random comment she threw out there. I was like, what is she? I had to rewind it back because I was like, is she drunk? Or is she high? Because she was acting weird.
Yeah, she was talking something about men's tongues are only good for one thing, and they only think with their peckers or something like that.
Yeah, no. She said that she likes a heavy tongue and heavy pecker.
Oh yeah, that's what she said.
She said, I was like, wait a minute. I had to rewind it back. I was like, wait a minute, what did she say?
And then a little nasty.
Yeah, and the girl was like, well, what's a pecker? And I was like, whoa, they about to have this conversation. Now, Angel, did you see any of this in the movie that you watched?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't know what they were talking about. You watched the same movie. I just think and on my side, I saw it on YouTube, and it came out in 2021.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like maybe they recut it and resplit it different ways.
Maybe
because he said 2019, you said 2020. I'm saying 2021. So maybe from 2019 to 2021, they probably found different ways. Like, oh, it should have been in this way or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they could have they could have just cut it, spliced it, put it together in a different sequence.
Yeah, possibly. Okay, Joe, keep going.
Yeah. So he's kind of right now. He's kind of down on his luck, and he's just ready to go back home. And they're during this time, they're kind of seeing the way things are down there because you got slave traders and you got families who a lot of the women are being trafficked, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's moms and daughters. I mean, there's a husband pleading for to get his wife back, and they're saying like they're raising taxes, and if you can't pay the taxes, you don't get your family member back. And they're even talking, hey, we'll give you your wife back maybe if you give us your daughter. I mean, it's pretty terrible the way they're treating these people. And the dad, the original swordsman, he's kind of looking like he knows this kind of stuff is going on, but he's trying to stay low key. He's trying to stay out of it because he really just wants to keep his daughter safe. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't really know much about his past. And she wants to get involved, and she wants her dad to get involved. But, like, literally, he wants nothing to do with it. And I can't blame him. You spent all this time keeping her safe up in the mountains. You really want to keep her away from all this.
Yeah. Now, there was another scene that was real weird, and I think it was around this time where he goes and talks to like a blacksmith guy, and I did not understand the conversation, and they didn't explain the conversation, and I don't even think this guy came back up later. Do you?
I think the blacksmith knew who he was, and he was basically just kind of saying, "Hey, like I'm still alive."
Yeah, that whole thing could have been just edited out. Like it was unnecessary. Like it confused me because I didn't know if this guy had another important role later on. Because the swordsman kind of pops up quietly, stands there, talks to the guy. The guy turns away. They're having a conversation. He turns away and he turns back and he's gone. It's like, dude, you're not fucking Batman. Like, why did you do that?
True.
Yeah, I thought this guy was going to have a more important part later on, but we never. I don't think we saw him again, or he said anything else later on.
No, he never came up again. He never did. And now the next scene is kind of what you were talking about, where we see the king from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he's the group of I don't know what you would even call them, travelers who are basically being a bunch of assholes, are harassing the king. They're talking to him, and he wants to have like an exhibition fight with the king's new swordsman.
Okay, hold on 1 second. That's just it. That guy was not the king. He was the Lord Lee.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. Like I thought he took over the kingdom. Because we see that king later on, because they kept referring to the king this, the king this, the king that. And I was like, well, who the hell is in charge? Because I don't know no more. Because it got stupidly ridiculous trying to keep up with everything. It didn't make any sense.
Like I said, this movie for me was all over the place and hard to follow.
Yeah, it was. It's extremely hard to follow.
So he has an exhibition, and he tells the Lord tells his swordsman to give him a good fight, but not to lose the fight, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like give him a good show, but don't beat him. So he thinks he's a better swordsman, and this guy thinks his swordsman is better. So they go out and they have a bit of a fight, and it's at the beginning like he's kind of like losing the fight on purpose, and the guy kind of realized it because he started saying stuff, and this guy got really pissed, and all of a sudden he shows him like, yeah, I could beat you, but then he pulls back right at the end, and they leave. Now the boss and him, he's telling the boss, he says, why did you make me pull back? He's like, I could have beat him. And he looked at him and laughed. He's like, you really think you could have beat him? He's like, nah, he was pulling back. And that guy was kind of mad because he was like, really? He goes, go find out if you really want to.
And that guy, that not the guy that you're talking about right there, because he came in with this other group of people. And the guy that the Lord had to fight for him to spar, that was the guy that the swordsman fought at the very beginning of the movie.
Yes, and he knew what he was doing because he was pretty well skilled.
Yeah. So also, it seemed like it was two type of communities because they kept talking about. I don't know how to pronounce this word. It's Qing, because it wasn't king or quang or anything like that. They were saying something else, and I can't remember. And then the other people were called Josens, I think.
Yeah.
So
I think there were two kingdoms.
Yeah, but we just never. Yeah, I don't know.
Like I said, I did. There was Ming. It was Ming and Joseon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either, but I just took it as like two different people. Or two religions, maybe. I don't really know.
I don't know, man, because both factions, both people served the king, and it was the king that ran away at the beginning of the movie. Both groups served this guy because we see him later on, and if we didn't see him again later on, I would have never knew that. But we see him at the end of the movie, and also toward the middle of the movie, I think we kind of see him also.
But that's where they lost me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Who orchestrated the coup? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Like I said, I thought it was that guy. I thought that it was the guy who we saw, Lord Lee. I thought it was him because for most of the movie, it seemed like he was the one that was in charge. But then he started talking about the king also. When those guys who came into the town, when they started kind of taking over, he needed help from the king. And the king wasn't going to help him. The king kind of pretty much was like, I'm not in none of this.
We got this. I got this movie suggestion because Jeff watched it. So, I mean, if Jeff wants to jump in the conversation,
Jeff
gonna have to get in here.
He should have been on the show tonight.
Of all the shows we talked about Jeff getting on, this will be the one because you know he's gonna fucking blow up the goddamn group chat.
Okay, please explain to us what we're missing there. Okay,
for me personally,
go ahead. I'll take it. I don't mind.
For me, I was lost at that point. I kept saying, I was like, who is orchestrating this? Like, I was really lost on that. But then, as we're talking about it, maybe that's like the point. Maybe it's to like lead you in a direction to think it's one person when it's not. I mean, they never tied it up on like who it could be, but
no, it didn't.
You get what I'm trying to say? Like they never tied it up on who it could be, but it could be leading you a certain way. I mean, in my mind, that's what I would think because I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like no one like would purposely make a movie in these sequence of events that like, with as little information like being told. Because there really wasn't much information told.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you're on mushrooms or acid or something like that, you would edit this. you would edit it like this. Maybe
mushrooms or acid. Oh god.
You have to be high out your mind to edit this movie like this without making it make sense. It did not make any sense.
Yeah, it was all over the place.
And this is the messed up part. This is the messed up part about it because it seems like if they explain it better, this movie could have been better than what it was. Yeah. Because I mean, it wasn't boring. I wasn't bored watching the movie, probably because I'm trying to figure it out the whole time, and so I'm paying close attention. I had watched about 25 minutes of the movie, stopped it, rewound the movie, and turned on the subtitles so I can read it to see if that made sense, and it didn't help. The subtitles didn't even help. So yeah,
really, I like the fight scenes. The sword fighting scenes were good to me. I really enjoyed them. I wish there was a few more. But it is what it is. But my thing is just the movie was just there's so much going on and so many stories that they're trying to tell, and they were just all over the place. And I wish it was a little more, push it forward a little more and explain a little bit more.
It reminded me of John Wick meets. What's the other movie that we watched with the guy that had the backward sword, the backward blade?
Ryoji Kenshin.
Yeah. It reminded me of John Wick in that.
It reminded me of that, the Ryoji Kenshin as well.
Yeah.
Just a lot of it was similar and some of the same.
And only reason I'm saying John Wick is because this guy was beating everybody's ass when he got to fight it. Like nobody could beat him.
So the daughter kind of, I don't know what she was doing or how she ended up. I think she was still trying to help her dad out. And the lady who was, that was supposed to help them, the healer, she has a proposition that the daughter can be fostered by the king and help out the king's mother. And for that, she'll live a nice pampered life because she'll be living with royalty, but also they'll fix her dad up as payment. So for her, I mean, she likes both ideas of one, her dad gets to be healed, and two, she likes that she can live, a life where she can do more than just hanging out on top of the hill.
Right.
Now, of course, she thinks they ask her, like, don't you want to talk to your dad about this first? And she's like, nah, since he gets his eyes healed, like, he'll be fine. But like they're telling her, I don't know, like if my daughter was just gonna leave, I don't care what happens with me. Like I think that your dad should want to know. And she just kind of played it off like no big deal. But during this time, those bad guys get a hold of her and the other one, and they have bad intentions. And luckily the dad shows up right in time. And now he's at the point where he's been trying to hide who he is. And he's still at this point, still trying to hide who he is.
Why though?
Because
that's what I never understood.
To save her and to
Yeah,
I mean,
guess so.
at this point, save himself. So they tell him if he wants his daughter, he has to apologize by getting on his knees and crawling and begging, and maybe they'll let her go.
Mm-hmm.
So he does it, and the daughter's telling him, you don't got to do this, da 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 da, and he's doing it, and they say, okay, you can have your daughter back after I take her virginity. Well, I knew right then and there, the second they said that, it was over. I'm like, if this guy can fight, it's like it's not gonna happen. I mean, he's been protecting his daughter the whole time. So, and I mean, he just takes it to it. I mean, he cuts everybody up. He's one of the bad guys outside, who's is a decent fighter. He realizes that this guy can fight.
Mm-hmm.
The swordsman he was fighting at the beginning, he's watching, and they're all like, "What happened?"
Mm-hmm.
One, they thought this guy was blind, and two, his sword he had put together into his walking stick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they all thought it was a cane. They didn't realize it was a sword.
I don't think any of us did. I didn't even think about it until he pulled it out.
I did. I just assumed it was a sword.
I mean, I should have known better, but the shape of it didn't even look like a sword, so it was weird. But it was shaped just like his original sword. It was just a little bit shorter, I think. So I don't know if he made a new sword, or if it was the other sword. He just fixed it up or what. But so now the cat's out of the bag. Like he's everyone knows he can fight, and now he's kind of trying to figure out his next move.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he decides that the daughter basically tells him like she's gonna go and live with the king, and they're gonna he's gonna get his eyes fixed, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Not only that, live with him, like because she's supposed to go live with Lord Lee and to take care of her mother or his mother.
Yes.
But Lord Lee is going to not only just let her stay there. It's not like he was hiring her. He was going to adopt her to be his daughter. Now,
what I was trying to figure out, was he doing that to save his own daughter? Because he knew they were going to try and traffic his daughter?
I don't know.
I kind of was wondering about that.
Well, they never really explained who his daughter was, because when he kept saying my daughter, I thought he was talking about her.
No, he had another daughter. He had another daughter close to or a little bit older than this current daughter. Because she was with her. So when they show up on his doorstep and they start killing his whole guard and him, her, the one he just adopted and the other one were hiding.
Mm-hmm.
Because they looked outside and saw what was going on.
And then also,
go ahead.
Also the lady that had the trading post, her also.
Yes.
Because like they I guess they thought that that she had a brothel. So those guys, they were looking for women to have some fun with.
Yeah, she told him this is not a brothel, that's over here. But I mean, that's how. So when he was looking for these guys, because he heard them kind of over talking about the daughter, that's where she told him to go. She said, well, usually they're at the brothel. So that was first where he went to take out those guys and find out where the other ones were.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he found that out, because he doesn't care about anything else right now. He only cares about his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fact that he's helping everybody else, yes, but he doesn't care. He just wants to get his daughter, go back and live in the mountains.
So this is what...
Yeah, go ahead. This is where your John Wick part comes in.
Well, also, man, this was where the movie does not make sense. Because she's going to go live with Lord Lee. She doesn't know that she's already royalty because she is the king's daughter.
True.
So if at that point in time, like the swordsman should have said, well, you know what? You're not going to go live with him because I'm not really your father. This is your father. Your father is actually the king.
Did he ever explain that to her?
I don't think so. I don't think
I think he did, but they didn't really show it. Like they showed her reaction to it, but they never really, because she was like, "Well, you're the father that raised me."
Yeah. Right. Yeah, but that's when like his eyesight was all like that was at the end of the movie when he was dead tired and his sight was pretty much gone and Yeah.
Well, the rest of the movie was basically, they sent the whole cavalry after him.
It was just nothing but fight after fight after fight, and he is.
Did he take out 30 to 50 people?
Yeah, more than that. But you know what I did like about that? They showed him getting tired, which we didn't really see that with John Wick. And John Wick was falling down steps, falling off buildings, getting hit by cars left and right. And of course he would stumble or whatever, but he never really seemed tired or hurt or sore. This
really
guy,
good cardiovascular.
Yeah, this guy was tired. Like it seemed like it was a point where he was fighting a bunch of people and saw more people coming, and it was like he was like, "Shit, I thought I was done. Now I got to keep going. I got to go some more." Yeah.
Gene, you don't think John Wick gets tired when he's limping and got blood everywhere, and he's like, his face, he's just like, ugh. Like, you don't think he got tired?
Not like this guy. Like this guy really looked tired. Like John Wick. Think about how far he ran in the last movie.
Bro, I'm going to tell you right now, if someone's trying to kill you, you run that far. You don't care.
Not if you're getting hit by a car. He got hit by a car every single movie. He got hit by a car. And no broken legs, no broken hips, no dislocated shoulder. You would think those things would make you even more fatigued and tired because now you're trying to overcompensate while you're fighting. So he should have been a lot more tired than he was, and I don't think so. Now this guy on here, like it was like 2 or 3 times where he just kind of stops and sighs. One time, well, maybe twice, he passed out and then woke up later. From the sheer fatigue of it.
But my favorite was, so he's just killing everybody. People are watching this from the outside and they're just kind of like how is this happening? Like, what in the heck? We're throwing everyone at him and he's killing them. And like he thinks he's gotten the last guy, and this random guy like thinks he's just gonna run up and kill him. He's like, oh, he's tired, he's done for. This guy thinks he's just gonna run up on him. I don't even think he had a sword. And
no, I don't.
He grabs him and he just turns around and just kills the guy.
Yeah.
And it was just so funny to me because I'm like,
I think my favorite.
The guy thought he was gonna. This guy thought he was gonna take. Oh, he took out all the people and I'm gonna take him out by myself at the end.
I think my favorite fight scene is when he was fighting the guys who had the rifles.
Yeah.
Because that was pretty slick how they did that.
Oh yeah, big time.
And because the Lord Lee's army, they went to go attack those guys. They ran at them, and the guys with the rifles just shot them dead.
Oh yeah,
that was it. And then a second wave of them came from behind the first wave and shot the rest of his guys. And that was just Lord Lee was the last one left. So when he came, and he was strategic with the way he killed each one of those guys. I think that was my favorite part of the whole movie.
It was pretty good
because I was wondering like, how is he gonna, like, these guys all have guns, they have rifles, like he can't, he's not about to block bullets with his sword. And then this part, it really started making me think, okay, now what part of this movie is historic facts that really happened? Like, was this man really killing people by himself, and all these people had rifles and he killed them all of these people?
I don't think so. I think the story was, because it said historical,
events. It said historical events.
Yeah, but the events they're probably talking about is the coup, the trafficking, some of that stuff. I think that you throw this guy in just to give it a story and something for us to want to watch. I mean, maybe there was someone like that, but I doubt he did, all that.
Mm.
So, I mean, basically he got through this, he got his daughter, he went back to the mountains. And then, like you said, they showed, kind of the what happened with her at the beginning, at the end.
You really just ran right to the
end. I mean, what else was there?
No,
what else was there? There really wasn't much else.
It was no story. It was nothing but a bunch of fights and going from place to place, fighting different people. And he did fight that guy again, one of the king's top officials.
Yeah, but
that he fought in the beginning.
Stop it before it got to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't the king stop it? Yeah.
Yeah. And then like he just comes out of nowhere.
Which I'm surprised he listened.
So anyway, do you suggest people watch this movie? Before we get to the grade, do you suggest people watch this movie? Because if you want to watch it for the sword fighting, then it's going to be not you know you'll enjoy that because those are some good sword fights. There's not a lot of I don't think there was any hand-to-hand combat fighting. I don't think anybody threw a kick, did they? I don't think so. I think it was just all sword fighting throughout the whole movie.
It was.
I think a lot of people would like the sword fighting. Maybe they'll even follow the story better than me, but I mean, all three of us had a hard time following it. I would love to hear Jeff's opinion when this comes out. If he had trouble following the story, or if he saw something we didn't, but it wasn't a terrible movie. I just wish it was explained a little better.
Right.
I need Jeff.
That's all I can say about that.
Next time Jeff puts a movie out there and we do it, and he even thinks we're not going to follow it, I need his ass to get on.
Well, I went and checked out. So he showed the movie off, like a scene of the movie on Instagram, and all the comments in so like a lot of people were like, I love this movie. It's a great movie. One of the best movies. So, I mean, it's not, people like it. So
I'm not saying it's a bad. I mean, you liked everything, everywhere, all at once. I hated it. I mean, but like I can't argue.
After I watched that movie, I said, I don't think the guys are gonna like this movie.
But you know what? Though? You know what's crazy is like this is kind of like that movie. Like it was just a bunch of we did. I told you with that movie, I didn't really know what the hell was going on. I thought it was a good movie, just didn't know what the hell was going on. Freaking won all these Oscars. Who am I? Obviously, I'm a terrible review critic.
No, don't say that, man. Because I've seen people win awards that are, and the movie's just weird as hell with those Oscars. Man.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, like it must be really good. I'm just saying, just next time, Jeff, if you even think it's a chance that we may not get it, or if you're gonna get personally. You want to personally just come on, just give us a quick synopsis, help us out here, because this one was just like I said, I don't think it was bad. I think the fighting, so Jeff told me, he's like, dude, I think you're gonna like the fighting. I actually loved the fighting in the movie. I actually thought like the swords work and the weaponry was actually really good, and it looked believable. Like I can actually see if someone trains these moves, I can see it actually working. I thought it was really good. I just think the story part of it, I was just really lost on that. But for the fighting aspect, I actually really liked the movie. If I had to give my grade, I would give it a.
Hold on, Angel. Hold on. Would you recommend someone watch this movie?
Yes. But I'll give them the disclaimer of the story may be a little funky.
The only people there's two type of people that I would suggest watch this movie, and that are people who like martial arts movies and martial artists. That's it. The average person, like my frat brothers, I wouldn't tell them to watch this movie. My homeboys in the music business, I wouldn't tell them to watch this movie. So I don't think they would like it. Melissa, I would not tell her to watch this movie. I know. Well, some movies she watches, but she does not like a lot of violent movies. So, it's, to me, honestly, she's going to go to sleep within the first hour anyway. So I'm like, just deal with these couple stabbings and slices and stuff like that, and you'll drift off to dreamland. You won't even miss the rest of the movie.
Trying to give this girl a nightmare, man.
So so those are only two groups of people that I would suggest moving to. Now, like you guys, if it was done a little bit better, I think I would have enjoyed it more. Like if they would have just made this a little bit easier to follow. Like I said, I rewound it back 20 minutes. I pulled it back just so I could turn on the subtitles because I just couldn't do it without the subtitles because I wanted to know if I was missing something. And then with the subtitles did not say exactly what they were saying.
No,
it wasn't the same.
That's what happens when it's dubbed because they're giving you the best description from the dub version.
Yeah.
So it's not always going to line up because the way even most languages say things differently. You know, they might say something that we say forwards to back. They might say it backwards to forward.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always translate the same.
Right. Angel, what are you giving this movie?
My grade, I was gonna give it a B-.
Oh wow, you're a lot nicer than I thought you were gonna be.
What about you? I'm giving it a C.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm
only because I have to go take the whole movie. If you wanted me to give the choreograph and the fighting, you know, I'll give that a B plus. But the whole movie overall, I just got to take that into consideration. I'm giving it a C.
Wasn't that bad?
No, a C is not bad. A C is average.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
I think it was a little bit above average.
It's not.
Yeah, that's your opinion. Good job.
It's not Street Fighter. It's not Double Dragon.
You know, I still will never get over that. That man has done so many other martial arts movies, and his worst one was Double Dragon. Like, that's crazy to
me. Wait. What's your grade, Gene?
I'm giving it a C also. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going
now,
C.
With that in mind, because you just brought up the Street Fighter, was it you posted about the second one, or did I post that? They're talking about a second one.
Yeah.
Street Fighter?
Yeah. Yes.
Wait,
I don't know if it's the same people or if it's like it's a remake. No, Street Fighter. I don't know if it's like a reboot or what.
It gotta be a reboot.
And then did you see?
They better make it a reboot.
Yeah, it gotta be a reboot.
I think it was Black Belt Magazine posted, "What's your favorite Jean-Claude movie?" And there was a lot of people that put Street Fighter, and I just wanted to be like,
how?
I want to be like, could you please go listen to our review?
You know what we all should have commented. Please listen to Fist Kicks and Flicks as you will.
I mean,
I didn't see that post. I didn't see that post.
12 to 15 that I seen that put Street Fighter as one of their favorites.
Wow.
Man, if they like that, they would like a wrestling Christmas miracle also.
Well, you know what? I don't know, man. If Jeff listens to this, maybe when we do our quick little show, you know, our 15-20 minute show, maybe Jeff will join us for this show. Yeah. And maybe we'll just do that, and just so he can give us like a little recap of what he thought of the movie, man, and break it down a little bit better for us.
For sure.
Because this was a little rough as far as trying to follow it along. And then once again, maybe because it was dubbed, maybe we had issues. I don't know, man. But like I said, like it had potential. I didn't hate the movie. Like if I see it on TV, if I see it on TV, if I'm scrolling through and I see it on TV, I will stop and watch it. I know. Yeah. I will see what part they're on. If it's a Sunday afternoon, nothing is going on. I'm bored out of my mind. Summertime, like no sports are going on. There's no football. There's no basketball. I'll be damned if I watch baseball on TV. I can't do it, Angel. I can't watch baseball on TV.
Bro, I don't like to watch baseball. I'll watch it now, but I don't like to watch baseball, and I love baseball. I probably won't watch it, but I definitely won't stop and watch what part this movie's on. I'll still get it. I definitely will not stop and watch what part. I'll just be like, oh, Swordsman, and just keep it moving. Just keep it moving.
All right. Well, with that, you guys got any closing remarks?
I got one thing to say. If people, I'm only saying this just because he posted it out there today. If you guys know Jeff Doss, cool with him, anything, send him a message. Just let him know, yo, Jeff, man, from Fist Kicks and Flicks, our condolences go out to your family for what we saw today, man. Just want to let you know we're here for you. We got your back. And like I said, man, if you guys don't know, inside scoop, you know, just send him a message. Just tell him, you know, your prayers are with him. I'm pretty sure I think he lost his grandmother. So just really want to just send that out there for him. And yeah, that was just all I had to say.
All right, Joe?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, everybody, stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you next week, and I am going to play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.